So the Caitlin Clark disrespect needs to stop. The Caitlin Clark disrespect needs to stop, or if nothing else, it needs to quadruple down. They should quadruple down on the Caitlin Clark disrespect, because the Caitlin Clark disrespect, you better believe she is coming out there to get revenge. Revenge on everyone. I don't know who. I don't care who you are. Caitlin's out for revenge. I don't care what position you play. I don't care if...
The disrespect didn't just cross the line, it erased it entirely. Caitlin Clark isn't just listening to the noise, she's fueling a fire that's about to burn the entire league down. After a rookie season that shattered every record on the books, the decision makers just looked her in the face and told her she wasn't enough. They mocked her struggles, ignored her impact, and handed her crown to players who haven't even laced up a professional sneaker yet. If they thought she was dangerous before, they have no idea what's coming next. She isn't just looking for a win anymore. She's coming for absolute revenge against everyone who dared to doubt her.
If the GMs were asked who the best transition player in the WNBA was, they would probably vote a player that can't run. Like, it is one of these things where I've never seen anything like it. Like, the Indiana Fever didn't even get best young core. I don't think people realize that Paige Beckers is older than Caitlin Clark. And not only that, Paige Beckers is older than Leah Boston. I don't get it.
It started with a survey that felt more like a personal attack than a professional assessment. When the league's general managers were asked who the best transition player in the WNBA was, they looked right past the woman who turned fast breaks into an art form. They chose players who can barely keep up with the pace she set from day one. It's the kind of blatant snub that makes you wonder if these people are even watching the same games we are. Caitlin didn't just play in transition, she redefined it. To see her name omitted from that top spot wasn't just a mistake, it was a message. And you better believe she received it loud and clear.
Realize that Paige Beckers is older than Caitlin Clark. And not only that, Paige Beckers is older than Leah Boston. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, Caitlin Clark had a significantly better rookie year than Paige. Paige is older than Caitlin. But you'll start a franchise with Paige. And you want to say, oh, what about the injuries? Well, yeah, Paige Beckers missed 2 college seasons through injuries. Caitlin Clark missed 3 months through injuries. A bit different.
But the insults didn't stop at her individual game. The Indiana Fever, a team that has become the literal epicenter of the basketball world because of her, didn't even win the vote for the best young core. How do you have the most impactful rookie in history and a roster full of rising stars and still get ignored? It's as if the league is trying to pretend the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. They are doubling down on the narrative that her success was a fluke or that her team is somehow lacking. This wasn't just a slight against her, it was a total dismissal of everything she's built in a few short months. The revenge tour is officially loading.
Absolutely no doubt about that. A flashy passer makes easy passes look spectacular. That is what Chelsea Gray does. A great passer makes spectacular passes look easy. That is what Caitlin Clark does. There are levels different. It is like saying that White Chocolate was a better passer than Steve Nash. Not the case. It is not true at all. And not only that, the best point guard in the W. And I mean this, Paige Beckers is not.
Then things got truly bizarre when the media started comparing her to Paige Buchers in a way that feels intentionally misleading. Don't get it twisted, Paige is a generational talent, but the narrative being pushed is pure insanity. People are acting like Paige is the fresh new face, conveniently forgetting that she is actually older than Caitlin. Not only that, she's older than Aaliyah Boston too. The media is framing this as if Caitlin is the old news and Paige is the future, when the reality is that Caitlin has already conquered the professional mountain while others are still at the base. This isn't just a rivalry, it's a manufactured attempt to knock her off her pedestal.
like there's not only a world, there is like a 30% chance that the MVP race is going to be between Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. Chelsea Gray probably won't make the All-Star team. Like, you've got two players who are probably going to be averaging above 20 points a game. You got Caitlin Clark, who is either going to lead the WNBA in assists or be very close to it. You've got Paige Beckers, who's going to either lead the WNBA in scoring or be close to it, while also being top 10.
The hypocrisy regarding their health is perhaps the most frustrating part of this entire saga. When people talk about Paige, they excuse everything because of her injury history, yet they use Caitlin's short recovery periods as a reason to question her longevity. Paige missed 2 entire college seasons with major injuries, while Caitlin has been a literal Iron Woman for the majority of her career. Somehow, in the twisted logic of the media, being more injury-prone makes you a safer bet to start a franchise with. It's a level of mental gymnastics that would make an Olympian blush, and you can bet Caitlin is watching every single headline with a growing sense of fury.
Like, if Chelsea Gray has the ball at any stage, in a position where the point guard is supposed to be dribbling the ball to the middle of the floor, she's going to shoot every single time. Why? Because she's not a point guard. When she gets the ball there, she's free reign to ISO. The only thing that Chelsea Gray should have won is who is most likely to be a coach, and if you want a game on the line, you want someone to shoot the ball. Purely based on those 2022 playoffs, I'll give it to Chelsea Gray. But it is just disrespect. It is just disrespect. It is actually disrespect. I love how it went to 50, 50, 70, 20.
Let's look at the cold, hard numbers that the haters want to ignore. If you compare Caitlin's rookie season to what Paige did last year, it's not even a conversation, it's a slaughter. Caitlin shot better from 2, better from 3, and was more efficient from the free throw line. She averaged more assists, more rebounds, and more blocks. She won double the amount of games while playing fewer games overall. She broke the all-time assist record as a rookie. Yet, the GMs and the media are acting like it was a failure because she didn't win a championship in year 1. It's an impossible standard specifically designed to make her look like she's falling short.
It is just disrespect. It is actually disrespect. I love how it went to 50, 50, 70, 20. Chelsea Gray averaged 11 points, 5.4 assists. Like, she might average a triple single next year on a team that might be worse than the Fever, despite, according to the GMs, having the best point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center, making the best off-season, having the best coach, having the best defensive player. Heck, if you can just, and having the best chance to win the title. Like, I don't know.
There's this ridiculous narrative that opposing players had to make massive adjustments for everyone except Caitlin. They claim other veterans were the ones keeping defenses awake at night. Look, those players are talented, but the adjustment for them is simple. Put your fastest player on them and pray. For Caitlin, teams were reinventing their entire defensive schemes. They were throwing double teams at her before she even crossed half court. To suggest that she wasn't the primary focus of every single defensive coordinator in the league is a lie so big it borders on comedy. She was the most guarded player in the world, and she still broke records.
If you ask who had the better rookie season from Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, it was Caitlin, and it wasn't particularly close. She shot better from 2, she shot better from 3, she shot better from the free throw line, she averaged more assists, more rebounds, more blocks. Won double the amount of games while having 4 less games, was healthier. Set an all-time assist record. Like, it was an obvious one. Duh. It was Caitlin. And it wasn't even close. But yeah, people have short-term memories. Whatever about people having short-term memories, apparently people...
Then we get to the passing debate, which is where the disrespect really turns into a farce. The GMs voted Chelsea Gray as the best passer in the league, and while Chelsea is an absolute wizard, there is a fundamental misunderstanding of what great passing actually is. Chelsea is what you call a flashy passer. She makes easy passes look spectacular with spins and behind-the-back flair. Caitlin, on the other hand, is a great passer. She makes spectacular, impossible passes look like they were routine. It's the difference between a magician doing card tricks and a surgeon performing a miracle. There are levels to this game, and Caitlyn is on the top floor. Think of it like the old NBA debate between Jason Williams and Steve Nash. White Chocolate had all the highlights and the flashy elbow passes, but Steve Nash was the one who actually ran the engine and dominated the game. Chelsea Gray is the highlight reel. Caitlin Clark is the entire system. To rank Chelsea higher because she puts more spin on a 6-foot bounce pass is insulting to the basketball IQ of the entire fan base. Caitlyn isn't out there to look cool, she's out there to dismantle the defense. The media values the show, but Caitlyn values the result. And next season, the result is going to be devastating for everyone standing in her way. The media's confusion doesn't stop with passing. They can't even decide what position people play anymore. They want to rank other stars as the best point guards when they are clearly shooting guards or wings. If you look at how the top teams actually play, other players are bringing the ball up the floor 80% of the time. Chelsea Gray is often more of a late shot clock initiator than a floor general. When the game is on the line, she's looking to shoot, not facilitate. Caitlyn is a true point guard who lives and breathes to create for others. By blurring these lines, the media is trying to dilute Caitlyn's dominance in her actual role. The upcoming MVP race is already being framed as a battle between Caitlyn's assists and Paige's scoring. But here's the kicker: Caitlyn is likely going to lead the league in assists while still being a top 10 scorer. Paige might lead in scoring, but she'll be lucky to crack the top 10 in assists. Caitlyn is the only player in this conversation who can legitimately dominate both categories simultaneously. The media wants to act like it's a toss-up, but the counting stats tell a different story. If Caitlyn repeats her rookie production with just a slight increase in efficiency, there won't be an MVP race. It'll be a coronation that the media will hate to watch. While the GMs are busy praising veteran stars, they are ignoring the statistical reality of their current game. Last season, some of these highly ranked players averaged barely 11 points and 5 assists. Those are solid numbers, but they aren't best player in the world numbers. In fact, some are likely to put up worse counting stats than role players next year. There is a real possibility that established names finish next season with triple singles, while Caitlyn is out there flirting with triple doubles every night. The gap between the reputation and the reality is widening, and the media is the only thing keeping that old reputation afloat right now. Why is this happening? It's a toxic mix of short-term memory and blind nostalgia. People remember one bad shooting night from Caitlyn and decide she's a failure, while simultaneously remembering a veteran's playoff run from 3 years ago like it happened yesterday. The GMs are voting based on what players did in the past, not what they are doing right now. They are terrified to admit that the rookie has already surpassed the legends. It's easier to vote for the established name than to acknowledge that the hierarchy of the WNBA has been permanently altered by a 22-year-old. This denial is exactly what's fueling her upcoming revenge season. People love to point to Caitlyn's shooting splits and call them god-awful, but they ignore the impact she has even when the ball isn't going in. Take her final game before her injury. She was struggling for 3 quarters, looking human for the first time. But when it mattered most, she took over. She scored 9 points and had 2 clutch assists in the closing minutes to beat Connecticut single-handedly. That is the mark of a superstar. Other players in this conversation didn't have a single moment like that, where they willed a team to a comeback win against elite competition. Caitlyn finds a way to win even on her worst days, and the media just ignores it. The gravity that Caitlyn Clark possesses is unlike anything we've seen in women's basketball. Even when she's shooting poorly, the defense is terrified of her. They can't leave her for a second. This opens up everything for Aaliyah Boston and the rest of the Fever. The GMs don't have a metric for that, so they ignore it. They focus on the turnovers or the missed threes, failing to see how her mere presence on the floor changes the geometry of the game. It's a sophisticated level of basketball that the media seems unwilling to analyze properly. They'd rather stick to easy narratives than admit she's changed the sport's fundamental physics. The GMs also voted the Las Vegas Aces as having the best offseason, despite the fact that they are aging and their depth is thinning. They have the best coach and the best defensive player, according to the experts. Meanwhile, the Fever are being treated like a footnote. This is exactly how Caitlyn likes it. She thrives when she's the underdog, even when she's the most famous athlete in the country. The more the media pumps up the established dynasties, the more motivated she becomes to tear them down. She isn't just playing for herself. She's playing to prove the entire system wrong. She is ready to dismantle every single prediction they've made. The advice for the media and the GMs is simple. Keep going. Quadruple down on the disrespect. Tell her she's not the best passer. Tell her she's not a top transition player. Rank her behind players who haven't played a minute of pro ball. Every single one of these polls is being screenshotted and saved. Caitlin Clark is a student of the game, and that includes being a student of the hate. She is coming back with a chip on her shoulder that is bigger than the state of Indiana. If you thought her rookie year was something, you aren't prepared for what a furious Caitlin Clark looks like. She is coming to collect every receipt she's ever been given. The blueprint for her revenge season is already being drawn. It's not just about winning games, it's about total dominance. She wants to lead the league in assists, scoring, and impact. She wants to make the GMs look foolish for every vote they cast against her. There is a huge chance that the MVP race becomes a one-person show, and Caitlin is already leading in every statistical category that matters. She isn't just coming for the trophy, she's coming for the respect that has been unfairly withheld from her. The era of playing nice is over. The revenge season has officially begun, and nobody is safe from the fallout of her massive transition. The way the GMs are voting reminds me of when aging stars in the NBA are still called the best in the league long after their prime. It's a vote based on reputation and what someone used to be, not the reality of the present. Basketball moves fast, and the WNBA is moving faster than ever because of the pace Caitlin set. By the time the GMs realize their mistake, it'll be too late. They are living in the past, while Caitlin is already building the future. This disconnect is going to lead to a lot of embarrassed experts by the time the next All-Star break rolls around. She is the new standard, whether the old guard likes it or not. Let's talk about that triple single reality again, because it's a harsh truth people aren't ready for. On a team that might actually be worse than the Fever next year, some of these elite veterans are going to see their numbers plummet. Without the protection of a super team, their flaws will be exposed to the world. Caitlin has already proven she can carry a massive load with all eyes on her. She doesn't need a perfect situation to succeed, she creates the situation. While others are protected by their systems, Caitlin is the system. That's the difference between a great player and a legendary one. The truth is coming out sooner than they think. There's a very real possibility that some of these media darlings won't even make the All-Star team next year. If the fans and the numbers have their way, the old guard is going to be pushed out by the sheer force of the new generation. Certain players might be the GM's favorites, but the court doesn't care about favorites. It cares about production. If Caitlin is averaging 20 and 10 while the veterans are struggling to hit double digits, the narrative will have to shift, but the damage is already done. Caitlin has seen the lack of faith, and she's going to use it as fuel for the entire 40-game gauntlet. She is ready to dominate every minute. The media's coverage of Caitlin Clark's rookie season has been a failing grade in objective analysis. They focused on the failures while ignoring the fact that she was doing things no human being has ever done in this league. They mocked the growing pains of a young star carrying the weight of an entire sport on her back. They looked for every reason to bring her down to earth instead of celebrating her ascent. But you can't suppress greatness forever. The more they try to contain the fire, the hotter it burns. Caitlin is no longer just a rookie. She's a force of nature with a very long memory and a point to prove to every single doubter. At the end of the day, the disrespect is the best gift the league could have given her. It removed any lingering pressure to be the perfect ambassador and replaced it with the raw desire to be the best player on the planet. The GMs can keep their polls and the media can keep their biased rankings. Caitlin Clark is coming for everything they said she couldn't have. Next season won't just be about basketball, it will be a statement. She isn't just playing for the fans anymore, she's playing to make sure that the next time they vote, they don't dare leave her name off the list. The storm is here, and it's wearing number 22.